Good morning, everyone. Welcome to This Day.
Good morning. Today is Monday, March 2nd, and it is National Banana Cream Pie Day.
All right.
Yum, yum, right?
I like banana cream pie.
I know you do, but I didn't make one for you.
All right,
I'm
that's
sorry.
okay. That's all right. I'll forgive you. And on our show today, John Pearlston is here giving the third mutual update. He is, of course, one of their board members, their treasurer. Then we're going to bring you a segment with RadNet, and Lisa sits down with one of their great people. Also, Katrina Foley, she is a candidate for State Senate in District 37. She is going to come on and talk about her views and her issues about and why she is running for State Senate. And then we're getting a guest coming in from Concerned Citizens. Their meeting is coming up. I think it's tomorrow, as a matter of fact, and their guest speaker is going to be here.
Excellent. And then we have two meetings today to tell you about. We have the Mutual 50 Marketing Committee meeting, which will be in the Tower Boardroom at 10 a.m. Third MNC meeting, which will also be in the boardroom in this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. All right, so the traditional custard pie, banana cream pie was modified, obviously, to look exactly like what you see there. Now, it dates back to the 19th century. Banana cream pie banana cream pie dates back to the 19th century and found its way into recipe books. Today, recipes fill cookbooks and flood the internet for this yummy pie. Now, in the 50s, soldiers of the United States Armed Services ranked the banana cream pie as one of their favorites. And there you can see we've got a couple of recipes dating back there, and vote for your favorite pie. Cream pies are often associated with comedians who use them as gimmicks in their routines, with the pie being pushed against someone's face. Now, when used for show business purposes, cream pies are generally mock-up pies made only from whipped cream. Now, pieing is the act of throwing a pie at a person or people. Now, this can be a political action when the target is an authority figure. As you can see there, that's Bill Gates in the bottom left. And in the upper right, I'll let you guess who that is. Looks a little bit like Marilyn Monroe. So obviously, it can be thrown against an authority figure, politician, or celebrity. And that can be a means of protesting against something that they believe in. Ken? You're not going to throw a pie in my face, are you?
No, I'm not. But you know what? If I was Bill Gates and had all that money, you could throw as many cream pies at me as you want. I would be perfectly okay with that. You know, banana cream pie is very popular at barbecue restaurants in the South, or banana pudding, which is the same filling. But almost everywhere you go, they have that, and usually, obviously, pecan pie as well. All right, as far as the weather goes, cooler week from last week. And we're going to be looking at more rain coming in over the weekend. But you can see today we're going to be partly cloudy, and maybe about 69 degrees is going to be the high. Tomorrow will be the warmest day of the week. Then we start to bring things back down again. And then as we approach Friday, 68 degrees. And then it looks like next weekend, another chance of rain, this time both Saturday and Sunday. So we'll see if we get that. You know, it's too bad it's on the weekend. However, we really do need the rain, so that's all right as well. Let's look around the county today, and you know, all the temperatures are, well, relatively cool. Let's face it, the second day of March, it really isn't. But compared to what we had a week ago, they are. Again, scattered clouds to partly cloudy throughout Orange County today. Certainly cooler than what we had a few days ago. You can see Palm Springs only 69 degrees, Big Bear 37. They got a pretty decent dusting of snow up there, and it was still happening, I think, overnight. Those areas, in fact, as of or a little bit earlier this morning, they were getting snow still up in the mountain area. So that's good news, definitely. And the Sierras got a decent amount as well, and that's really good news. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
The 2020 election is ushering in a new and exciting change for all of Orange County voting residents. We've always been a leader in election innovation, and now that same strength and legacy are coming to the election process with our new vote centers. This historic shift in voting from traditional polling places to vote centers will make it more convenient, more secure, and more accessible for all voters. As technology is constantly advancing and voter habits change, the traditional polling place model has fallen behind the needs of Orange County voters. We are now introducing vote centers to Orange County. This new way to vote means we are no longer restricted to voting on just one day. We take away the confusion of which polling place to cast your ballot, and we modernize, simplify, and increase security of the entire voting process. Vote centers usher in an incredible leap forward in how our elections are held. You will now be able to vote in person over an 11-day period in nearly 200 county-operated vote centers with highly trained staff that can help you from registering to vote, casting your ballot, and everything in between. Gone are the days of your address determining where you vote or the need for most provisional ballots. Now you can choose to vote at any location convenient for you. Walk in when you want and where you want. Voting in person at a vote center will be a similar experience to what you're used to, only with some exciting enhancements to make the process easier and more efficient, ensuring every vote is handled accurately and securely. Every voter will receive a ballot through the mail prior to Election Day, but this isn't your only option to vote. When voting in person, a new electronic check-in process speeds up voting time, verifies your information, and provides real-time data to election staff so they can better assist you. Regardless of how you choose to vote in person, the procedures all remain the same. If you vote by mail, you can keep voting the same way you have in the past. Your ballot and process will look the same as before. If you prefer to drop off your vote-by-mail ballot, we now have brand new ballot drop boxes located throughout Orange County. These new ballot drop boxes are easy to spot, convenient, and have enhanced security measures. Vote centers are staffed with friendly, professionally trained agents who can assist you with all of your voter needs and offer more services than the traditional polling place. If it's your first time voting or you need general voter assistance, you can stop by any vote center for help. There, they can verify your vote-by-mail ballot has been received, generate a replacement ballot, or check your registration status. We are excited about this incredible new election process that makes voting more accessible, more secure, and simply easier. For more information, please visit ocvote.com.
Well, I'd like to welcome John Pearlstone. He is the treasurer of the Third Mutual Board, and therefore he always talks about financial reports at the meeting, gives everybody an update about what's going on, and not only with the finances, but often the resales as well. So welcome. Nice to have you here today.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes,
Thanks.
and so we're going to talk obviously about that, about how the finances are going with Third.
Yeah, well, it's always a good topic.
Yeah.
I spend most of my time on it for board-related matters. In general, feel really, really good about the way things worked out for 2019 in our budget, and feel even better about the way we're starting 2020. So many tumultuous events are going on
Yes.
with an election year and
Yeah.
other things going on in the world that is just really comforting that we've got a board that is very focused on fiscal responsibility. There were some changes at the GRF board most people are aware of, and we feel like everybody's in good unison. We're having good communications and just feel like we're off to a really, really good start. We're having a great interaction with our staff and trying to get in line with all the projects we want to focus on. So generally a good report across the board.
Now, one of the things you talk about is the investments every month, and you kind of give a brief overview on that. And of course, what you and the other boards invest in are pretty safe, aren't they?
Yeah, I would define it as
The risk is-
really
yeah.
safe. Over the last 18 months, and definitely want to give a lot of credit to a great friend and a great person, the late Jack Conley. He was a treasurer before me, and he drove the mutuals to look at the investments and try to make sure we were getting the best value for our investment dollar, but also keeping things safe. And just in the last few months, we made the transition from a diversified portfolio of, is pretty low yielding but safe government bonds into government-oriented mutual funds, all investment grade
Right.
or government-backed, and it raised our yield, it lowered our management expenses, and while all this volatility is going on in the stock market, We continue to have the sleep at night portfolio that's actually performing extremely well. I mean, every day is a different day, but very safe, highly backed in terms of guarantees and strength of the organizations behind the bonds. And it just all worked out as well as it possibly could have, not only for short term, but we think for the long term as well.
Right, and then obviously when your investments are in government bonds and all, there's less of a tax hit as well.
Right. I mean, every mutual's got a little different tax setup, but at the bottom line is all that was evaluated and looked into, and the transition, it's being managed at Fidelity right now, so we've got that level of strength behind it as well. I meant to mention that, but the reality is all those areas got covered, and it's all been working out exactly as we had proposed so far, which is always a good thing at this place with a big project to make sure it's running as planned. And so we're watching it closely, but so far so great.
What are some of the key things you see coming up for this year, obviously from a financial standpoint?
Well, I mean, our focus has been kind of the sleep at night approach on all projects instead of let's get a progressive and aggressive and start doing all kinds of new and projects that we may not be quite ready to manage and handle. We're kind of consolidating what's going on, and we're very aware of what's going on in the bigger picture at GRF, most notably the Performing Arts Center. That project is getting a lot of attention, and rightfully so. We're hoping to see that get handled and approved and started if all goes well. And that means that we have to watch our projects at Third Mutual and make sure that we're not overextending while that all gets settled. So we've still got major projects going on for dry rot and waistline remediation and just improving our structures as much as we possibly can, because there was a lot of deferred maintenance from years ago. It's definitely being handled well. We're getting great feedback. We offer our resident services from Third Mutual, the chargeable services for doing repairs. That project's going extremely well. So trying to make everything we've got go better instead of, let's expand it into 20 new things. Let's get good at what we're already doing. And that seems to be working, and we're really upbeat and excited about it.
Now, everything goes through financial, one way or another. And, one of the big items is landscape. Not only just the maintaining of landscape and looking at how things are going to be done, maybe change, getting rid of some of the turf and all that, but also the water bill, right? And that's not going down anytime soon, is it?
No, we're doing the best we can. We have a water committee that tries to get good communication out there, but it's a statewide and arguably a nationwide problem. So we're just trying to stay on top of it and aware of it and encourage our community to do whatever they can to reduce their water usage. We're reasonable. We still want to have a good quality of life. And, I think we're having some traction in getting that word out there. But bottom line is just in the landscape side of things, so happy with the progress that we've made there. Not a lot of it. I'm on the landscape committee also, so I'm involved with all those discussions. And the last 12 months have seen great foundational changes in our landscape approach. The community is going to start seeing it. Some of the people attending the meetings are starting to comment on it. But there's a lot of catch-up work to be done there in terms of tree trimming and irrigation and water management, and it's all being addressed. We'll see in 12 months if we're where we think we can be, but definitely know that we're in the right direction there as long as the execution works.
Right. Now, of course, as you said, you have a lot of things that just the maintenance things to take care of in general. Roof repair, dry rot, the sewage system, and all those different things. But then looking ahead, you're contending with, or will contend with, eventually more and more people are coming in with plug-in electric cars and such. So that is something that I know that everyone is active in looking at because, pun intended, it's coming down the road very quickly.
Right. Well, you had to force me to be controversial in my visit today, I suppose. It's a big topic. We're all really aware of it. We're staying abreast of what state government's talking about, federal government regulations, and just the needs of our community. But there's also a lot of technological improvements going on as well. So to me, it's a walk slowly into this process because you invest a ton of money in stations and opportunities for people to be able to plug in everywhere they turn around. All of a sudden, self-charging batteries come into vogue, and it's like, well, now we've spent millions that could have been applied somewhere else. So it's being addressed. We've got consultants working on it. We've got experts within the community looking at it. believe me, it's going to be thought about carefully,
Yeah.
and we welcome residents to share their input and ideas and their concerns. So we'll be out front with what's going on, but we're going to make sure that we invest the money wisely at all times.
Yeah, you
That's
bring
what
up,
I'm here to do.
You know, you bring up a very good point when it comes to that, because we see how rapidly technology changes, and it comes to the point, you know, when you're talking about the plugins and all that. Well, they're already beginning to talk about, which has been around in one form for quite a while, conductive charging. So therefore, which basically means if you have a certain type of phone, you don't need to plug it in, you put it on something and it charges that way. And they're already developing the way that vehicles will be able to do this with some kind of a mat or whatever. Yes, those will have to be plugged in a sense, but in a totally different sense that plugging in your car is. And you know, it's a good point you bring in. When it comes up with tech, you're always trying to catch up. Yeah.
Right. Well, to give some upside of how we're approaching things currently, we had the street lighting project that I know our other board members have mentioned before. That is being handled in a really proactive manner from here forward. We've chosen the fixtures, they're being installed. So, you know, we're trying to make sure that we do the things we can do well and get them done, and that's going to improve the lighting throughout Third Mutual. So the ones we know, the LED lighting that we can jump into effectively, cost efficiently, it's going to provide big savings for our usage, utility usage. So that's what we're trying to make sure. Let's do what we can do well, and the stuff that we want to look at and maybe aren't quite as ready to do, let's just start really studying and understanding the right path for the future. Yeah,
and believe it or not, you're starting to take a look at the 2021 budget over, I think, by the end of March, right? You start looking at it?
Yeah, we already had a first meeting. They seem to like the budget all year long here. I mean, for me, the key is make it a meaningful budget. You know, if you're going to put a budget together, let's make sure that we're understanding if it's working, if it's not working, why, how do we make adjustments to make it better? And we did a lot of that. We spent a ton of time last year getting the 2020 budget ready and saw some process issues that could really be efficient. So, you know, we're working on the big areas, the big dollar items to say, let's dig deeper, make sure we understand what we need as a community and get those budget dollars right. And then the big change we're hoping for in 2020 into 2021 is getting more real-time information on how it's going. Some of our budget process is equal in the way it shows up on our financials, but it's not equal in the way the work's done. We're trying to get better information to be able to tell residents and for our own benefit of, whoa, you know, we're going to have a huge hit in April and May, so let's make sure that that goes on track. Versus, oh, it all looks equal, but it's not really happening equally, if that makes sense.
And of course, that comes back to reserves and contingency funds.
Correct. It all comes back to, you know, what we're funding in our assessment, how we can keep that as managed and as reasonable as possible, and better budgeting is obviously key to keeping that under control.
All right. Well, very good. Anything else you'd like to add today?
Yeah, I'm going to take a second and wish happy birthday to my son.
All right.
And my good friend Scott, who is also in the community, and they both share a birthday, so I thought it would be fun to at least let him hear me on TV wishing him the best.
All right, great. Thank you for coming on, sir.
My pleasure.
Good to see you again.
All right,
and we'll be right back.
Love, Sex in the Big City. A musical comedy features fictional stars who lived at the Barbizon Hotel. Why is Sister Umagod in witness protection? Pop singer Kiki is from Cuba, or is she? Irma Diamond recalls her start with the hot flushes. Mary Lou, the mousy housewife, has a killer secret. Tickets on sale now. Show runs March 13th through 15th.
There's never quite enough time. We try to make the most of it, to find more of it, to cherish each and every moment. At Memorial Care, we value your time. So we're bringing more locations closer to you. Because having award-winning physicians in your own neighborhood means getting to appointments faster and enjoying a healthier life. We're here, with care where you need it.
Mind and Memory Program at Mission Hospital is an outpatient program specifically designed for patients with a memory disorder who have developed a mental health issue, such as depression, anxiety, or paranoia. Patients are welcome every day, Monday through Friday, up to 4 days a week. On-site meals and snacks are included, and transportation to and from the program is available. The program focuses on improvement in overall mood, function, and concentration, as well as a decrease in depression or anxiety. Call today to find out if you or your loved one qualifies for the Mind and Memory program.
Envision, the eye doctor's #1 choice.
I have worked with the doctors at Envision for over 20 years. Their experience, state-of-the-art technology, and positive outcomes have earned them my trust in taking care of our mutual patients.
With clear vision, all things are possible. To schedule your appointment today, contact us at 866-599-2740.
Welcome back. Well, we have Katrina Foley here, who is running for state senate, and she's got a lot to tell us about. Tomorrow is the last day to vote.
Yeah.
So I know we're just sliding right in here right beforehand, but that's great. I'm glad you could come on. So there's a lot going on, and just real quickly, let's talk a little bit about your history.
Great. Well, you know, I'm the mayor of Costa Mesa, and over the last 10 days, I've been a little busy fighting the coronavirus in terms of what's going on, and the federal government and the state government trying to make Orange County the epicenter for all patients that are testing positive for coronavirus. So we've been pushing back against that. We filed a court injunction, and the court granted our relief, and then we put a lot of pressure on, and the federal government withdrew. So for now, we're not going to have to worry about that. But before that, you know, I've been on the city council this is my 12th year.
Okay.
I was 4 years on the Newport Mesa School Board, so I have a lot of education experience. I'm married to a teacher, and also I was a planning commissioner in Costa Mesa. And before that, I sat on a committee, the Human Relations Committee and the Child Care and Youth Services Committee when my boys were little. So I've put a lot of time into serving our local community.
Okay, and why would you want to do this particular position?
Well, you know, I never thought about it before. It wasn't something that I contemplated, but after the 2018 election, I had a group of people come and talk to me and recruit me to run, because we've been dealing with a lot of issues here locally in Orange County, and we can't get the state solution. And a lot of times, I know as mayor of Costa Mesa, we come up against some law that's a state law that needs to be changed in order for us to fix a local problem.
Okay.
Sober living home reform is a good example. You've probably read a lot about it in the Orange County Register. There's a lot of sober living home abusive operators who are recruiting people from out of state, taking advantage of them, and then kicking them out into the curb, exacerbating our homeless crisis.
Oh, man.
So I've been working on that legislation with Cotty Petrie-Norris, who's our assemblywoman, and we just can't, you know, we got to get some more people in the state legislature. We keep getting killed in Senate Health Committee.
Got it.
And so then also working on the coronavirus as a good example. The state level response was, in my opinion, not very good. And so we've got to fix that.
Okay.
Homelessness should be all of our top priorities.
Right.
And that requires a state intervention, funding, allocating the money that's already identified for this. It needs to get pushed out to the cities and local communities. So there's a lot of issues that I'm working on at the local level that we keep getting blockages at the state level.
Okay.
So that's why I want to do it.
So you'd be kind of like an insider type of thing, right? To help promote. I like that.
And I always like to say that people don't really know what a state senator does. It's like the mayor of all the cities that are in the state district. And so we have cities, we have Laguna Woods, Laguna Beach, Newport Beach, Costa Mesa, Irvine, southern part of Huntington Beach, Tustin, Orange, Anaheim Hills, Lake Forest, Foothill Ranch, and Villa Park. It's a giant district. But as the state senator, you're sort of like the mayor of all those cities.
Right.
You can help all the mayors in all the cities with their budget. You can help them all with their legislative priorities. And then you can use the influence of us being a senator, one of 40, in a state that is the fifth largest economy in the world to make things happen in Orange County. We just don't have that right now.
Right. So is that one of the reasons why, I mean, obviously it's one of the reasons why you're running, but would you say that the current person who's in there at this point is really not helping disseminate the funds?
Oh, he votes no on the budget. And so by voting no on the budget, that causes us to not get any funding on the Senate side.
I see.
The clear comparison as to what we could be getting is the prior assemblyman who Cotty Petrie Norris replaced always voted no on the budget as well.
I see.
We got no money on the assembly side. This last year, just in 1 year in office, she brought back $18.5 million into the district.
Wow.
In Laguna Woods, it contributed to a new library. It makes it different. In Costa Mesa, where I'm mayor, it was $1 million towards one of our community centers and parks.
Okay.
In the Orange County Fire Authority, she brought back $4.5 million for some technology for wildfire prevention.
Okay.
$2.9 million for veterans, homeless housing. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had a senator and an assemblywoman both bringing back money for the district. You'd more than double it.
Exactly. Well, that's awesome. And, let's talk a little bit about some of the issues that, there was, you say to some pieces that may have been in the mail.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about some of those.
Well, one of the loopholes in the campaign reforms, finance reforms of the last election is they still left a loophole to allow dark money to fund negative campaign hit pieces and not have to be accountable. So what's been happening is there's hundreds of thousands of dollars going into funding these negative campaign mailers. And frankly, the way they're describing my record of service, it's almost like it's a completely different person. There's a person over here that is not me. And it is the exact opposite of my positions.
Okay.
They're blaming me for laying off employees, public safety, firefighters. I wasn't on the council at the time that happened.
I see.
In fact, I was part of the team that fought against that. I was on the school board, but I still helped the community.
Right.
They are accusing me of voting against senior services, child care and youth services. If you look at the minutes that they even put on the mailer, I actually voted no. And so they've just flipped my entire record of service.
Okay.
And, I think it's terrible. It shouldn't be allowed that you can just flat out lie.
Right.
So, I called 911 and the firefighters came to the rescue. Many of you should have received some mailers in your mailbox that dispute all of those things.
Okay.
I'm endorsed by the California Professional Firefighters, the Costa Mesa and Huntington Beach firefighters, as well as police associations from both of those cities. I'm also endorsed by the Newport Beach firefighters, the Orange County Fire Authority, lots of Orange County Employees Association. So I have the support of the public employees. So that's all of that. Just lies. Reject the lies.
Yeah, well, like you said, there's no accountability for something like that, and trying to go after them after a long period of time, I'm sure, is very difficult.
Oh, well, when you can drop $90,000 in a day, that's very hard. Our campaign dollars are coming in. I've got people who give $1 a month, people who give $37 a month, and everything in between. And so, we're working hard to run a positive campaign focused on the issues that residents care about.
We talked a lot about first responders there just a little bit ago, especially with firefighters. What are some of the things that are challenging to have right now for them?
Oh gosh, this is a really hard time for firefighters because of climate change. We literally have wildfire season all year long. It's not a season anymore, it's just a regular occurrence. And so it's a lot of stress on their bodies, it's a lot of exposure to contaminants. I did recently Orange County Fire Authority training where you learned a lot about all of these pollutants that are in some of the furniture that we're buying now, a lot of plastics. So it burns really hot and fast, and it is actually very toxic for them.
Wow.
One of the things that we've done in Costa Mesa that I took the lead on, and I would, as a senator, really help to push other cities and help to get the funding for this, is that We have these exhaust extraction equipment in each firehouse because you think about it. They live in the firehouse. When they bring the truck in, all that exhaust goes right into the firehouse unless you have an exhaust extraction system.
Oh,
people don't think about that stuff.
Yeah.
Washers and dryers, something as simple as that. I helped to lead the effort to fund those in all of our fire stations just within the last couple years. They never had them before. So they bring all those contaminants home to their families, washing them in the washing machine at home with their kids' clothes.
Right.
So those kinds of simple things go a long way.
Right.
You know, and also mental health. I think anybody in public safety these days, first responders, whether you're in police or fire, you're actually, you're putting yourself at risk because of guns. People, you don't know who has a gun, who's have mental health issues and might think you're someone else. And, and it never used to be like that.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, good. What else do you want to tell us?
Well, it's just been a great, journey. I've got to meet so many people across the district. There's really, I think, 5 things that voters care about that I feel I would be the best candidate to work on.
Okay.
Ending homelessness across the district. People care about that, and I've got the experience to work on that. I've worked on it in the last 3 years. In Costa Mesa, we've permanently housed 105 people out of the 187 that were homeless. So
all right.
we have a system that works. I'll take it across the district.
Okay.
Housing and affordability of housing. Even in Laguna Woods, I'm hearing from residents who are concerned about especially women over 60 becoming homeless, living in their cars. So that's an issue we've got to fix. We've got to make housing more affordable for people. Climate action. We have to protect our planet for our next generation. I've got a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old, and I want them to enjoy this beautiful coastal district that we have. So we've got to protect it. And that's also why big oil is attacking me. All these hit pieces are coming from Chevron.
I see.
I oppose offshore oil drilling. So.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and then I think also jobs, making sure that we have good quality jobs so that people don't have to work 4 jobs to make a regular living and to pay their rent and take care of their family. And then finally, healthcare. Healthcare is a very big priority in this state. I've got my 93-year-old grandmother and my 73-year-old mom living with me.
Wow.
Yes.
You're from the sandwich family.
Yes, we got
Heard
4
about that.
generations in our house. So we know that healthcare is an issue for seniors. And you have limited income, half of it shouldn't be going to pay for prescription drugs.
All right.
So I'll work on all those things, and I would be honored to have the support of the community, and I'll continue to do my best to work hard for you.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
it was very, very
you.
nice to
Great
meet
to
you.
meet you.
And good luck tomorrow.
It's a big day.
All right. And if you guys would like additional information, you can always look up Katrina Foley on the internet. I'm sure her name is very easy to find. And don't forget to vote tomorrow. That's the 3rd. And you have voting centers all around. We'll be right back.
How are you making the most of your life, and do you apply that same devotion to planning your financial future? A train off its tracks goes nowhere. Having a financial plan that is consistent with your lifestyle will keep you on track through your retirement years.
Align Wealth Advisors specializes in creating a financial strategy that best fits your needs and your lifestyle, now and in the future.
Align Wealth Advisors. Life, wealth, balance.
I was very, very ill with diabetes, fibromyalgia to where I couldn't stand up and walk. The chest pain was so bad, I was hospitalized twice. I totally would recommend coming here to Dr. Tong to avoid drugs and pharmaceuticals that really don't cure you. Now I don't need the medication for diabetes. I feel great. I have more mental clarity. I feel that life is better.
Call today for your free phone consultation. At our new Memorial Wave Imaging Center in Laguna Woods, formerly Orange County Diagnostics, you can expect the same precise imaging, multiple modalities for your imaging needs, and the same friendly staff with medical providers like Dr. Syed Sharakni. The Laguna Woods Transportation Service offers convenient access right to our door, and we continue to provide the care and compassion that you expect from our new Wave Laguna Woods location.
Hi, it's Desiree from Irvine Subaru, where families come first. As a family-ran dealership, your family's safety is our #1 priority. Come in and find the perfect Subaru from the largest selection of Subarus in Orange County. All models are top safety picks by the Insurance Institute of Highway Safety. We offer the ideal balance of safety, performance, and economy. Irvine Subaru, more Subarus, more safety, more performance, more love.
And right now I'd like to welcome Rima Nashashibi, and she is the founder and president of Global Hope 365. And she is going to be speaking at the Concerned Citizens meeting tomorrow night. That's Tuesday, March 3rd at 7 p.m. at Clubhouse 1. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you
Pleasure
for having
to have
me.
you on today. And what your topic is going to be about is shining a light on human sex trafficking, human trafficking in general, and child marriage. And that's the part that we don't hear about a lot. So welcome. And first, a bit of your background and Global Hope 365. What's that about?
Sure. I started Global Hope 365 back in 2017, and our inaugural event was January 9 of 2019. And the whole mission of Global Hope is to end harmful practices against women and girls in the U.S., like child marriage and human trafficking. And you think that child marriage, we don't have that here in the U.S., but unfortunately it is legal in 48 states. Yes. I didn't think it was, but I was shocked to see or to hear that it's legal in 48 states.
Yeah.
The only two states that do not allow it and pass legislation that said no child marriage under 18, no exceptions, are Delaware and New Jersey. And that only happened in May and June of 2018.
Wow.
Yes.
But here in California, I was very surprised. You know, if you first said, you know, child marriage, and, you know, I love the South, no offense to people from the South, but you would think, okay, some of Arkansas and places like that, maybe. But here in California, you were telling me there's not even an age limit. I mean, it's not like it's 16 and up.
Yes,
it could be
no,
younger.
there isn't.
Yeah.
You know, the laws are different from state to state. We don't have an age limit.
Yeah.
All what you need is parental consent and judge's approval. So I'm going to paint the worst scenario. So if your parents want you to get married at 5 and they got a judge to approve that, you will get married at 5. So we need to change that law because we don't have a minimum age in California. Yeah. But not only do we need to change it here, we need to change it in other states. Because UNICEF says child marriage is a human rights abuse. The Department of State issued a report in 2016 that said human rights abuse is a fundamental human rights abuse in other countries. And I'm saying, what about our country? What about our kids?
Yeah.
So if it's abuse in other countries, it's abuse in the US. And we need to stop that.
Here in California, is it that common? I mean, do you know of cases? I mean, not necessarily a 5-year-old, but do you know of cases that
I'm glad you asked that question, Ken, because California is one of the states, one of 23 states that do not keep statistics on child marriages.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Between 2000 and 2010, there were approximately 248,000 minors getting married in the US, and 23 states do not keep statistics on that. So that's what we're trying to change. One of my board of directors, Dr. Melissa Withers, who's a professor at USC, has hired 2 people in order to try to find how many minors were married in California. But the Pew Research Center, and everybody knows them, did research, and it's about marriages between the ages of 15 and 17. The national average is 4.6. In California, they found out it's 5.5.
Wow. Yeah. And
So,
again, in this state, the way the state is, let's face it, you would think it would be the leader in this as far as preventing and keeping statistics, and it's just the opposite. That's what I find very surprising.
Yeah, and Senator Jerry Hill from Northern California thought it was a no-brainer for him to introduce a legislation, SB 237, that said no child marriage under 18, no exception. Unfortunately, that bill was watered down so bad that it didn't pass the way it was intended.
Yeah. Do you know why? Do you have a take on why?
Well, oppositions came from interesting sources, ACLU and Planned Parenthood. And we're talking with, we're having a dialogue with Planned Parenthood.
Yeah.
And next we'll be having dialogue with ACLU to make sure that we're all on the same page. And I think we will be with Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, very interesting. ACLU especially.
I know.
You never know. So your talk is coming up again. I want to remind people it's tomorrow night.
Yes.
That means Tuesday, March 3rd, 7 p.m. Clubhouse 1. And you can get there at 6:30 for a meet and greet if you'd like. And one of the things you were telling me, you were talking out in the hallway, that you would like to see, just in general, possibly in our schools, maybe middle school and on up, talking about sex trafficking in general. You'd like to see it maybe part of the, they do the sex education, for lack of a better word, program. Maybe that being a part of it as well, right?
Yeah, see, human trafficking is about fraud, force, and coercion, and somebody making money out of you. The scary part and the concerning part is that right now they're targeting our middle and high schools. They're going as far as middle schools. The victims of human trafficking or sex trafficking become the perpetrators.
Right.
Because if they want to get out of this business, because what happens is that they take photos of them in compromising situations, basically. And then they say, no, you can't, because if you want to get out of it, we're going to show this to your parents.
Right.
Or they threaten their family members. So what we're trying to do is, Global Hope 365 is all about preventing future victims from happening, either child marriage or human trafficking. So we would like to roll out human trafficking awareness courses in all schools in Orange County, just like San Diego did. The District Attorney Summer Stefan there set out a program, human trafficking awareness program, in all public schools in San Diego, because they want to make sure our kids know the red flags that they need to be aware of if somebody approaches them. One victim that I heard about, a friend of hers in school said, my dad will take you home. My dad and I will take you home. She said, let me call my parents. She said, no, by the time we take you home, by the time you call them, you'll be home. She was gone. She was raped and became a victim of human trafficking. The dad, in a sense, was lucky because he was extremely rich. He hired private investigators. They found her after 6 months. It's as simple as, I was talking to a deputy attorney general who worked with foster youth. And the other example she gave me is a friend in school saw her friend having an iWatch and an iPhone. And the traffickers groomed them what to say in order to recruit new victims. And she said, oh my, you have an iWatch and iPhone. I would like to have one. How come you have one? Well, I'm working. What are you working as? A runner. A runner for who? A businessman. Well, I want one. No, you have to go through an interview. Well, please get me an interview. In the interview, she was raped and then became a victim of human trafficking. I was a keynote speaker at the International Association of Insurance Professionals. And then one of the officers came to me after the speech and she said her niece was trafficked. The mom is a lawyer, the father is a physician. She was studying in Georgia, and they came at her with the classic, you're so pretty, we're gonna make you a model.
Right, yeah.
And then you know what happens in the interview. They get raped and they put into sex trafficking.
From what you'd like to do and get the programs in the school, it's not really any different in some respect to the anti-drug programs and those sort of things.
Yes, absolutely.
Something we've talked about in schools a lot, and I can see implementing this within some of the education they already get is not not a big stretch, so it's surprising that it's not there.
Yeah, and UBS Foundation basically supplied the grant for San Diego.
And what's UBS?
Sorry?
What's UBS?
It's a financial institution.
Oh, that
yes.
UBS. Okay, sure. I thought it was some other big organization.
They gave the grant. They donated the grant to roll it out in San Diego. So we're hoping some of our Orange County corporations will donate the grant money in order to roll out this, this program at schools here.
Right. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd like to find out more about this, Rima's going to be speaking again tomorrow night, Concerned Citizens Clubhouse 1. You can get there at 6:30. And very interesting topic.
Thank you.
Yeah, and
Thank you for having me.
I think it's something that needs to be put out there.
Absolutely.
Because it's surprising. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Nice to meet you,
Yeah.
and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Choice for wood flooring and more is LA Carpet.
Now during their 2-day sale, visit their showroom now and get 65% off wood flooring, laminate, and waterproof flooring.
Plus, get 5-year, 0% financing.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Thank you for joining us. Today I have Andrew Jones, who is a RadNet employee, and he's going to be talking to us about leukemia and lymphoma. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So I understand that you were diagnosed, and were you diagnosed with lymphoma or leukemia?
Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay, and at what age were you diagnosed?
26.
Okay, and you are how old now?
I am now 27.
Oh, so it's only been a year.
Yep.
Tell me how it happened.
So I felt a lymph node in my groin area. It was noticeable at the skin level, and I had visited my primary care physician who referred me to get an ultrasound. So I had an ultrasound done, and about 6 to 8 months later I went to get an MRI, and that was still not revealing signs that were suspicious because there was only one enlarged lymph node.
Okay.
And so after further discussions with my primary care physician, he suggested that I see a urologist and have a full excisional biopsy on the lymph node, meaning I take the lymph node out. And so on March 6th of 2018, we did the full excisional biopsy, and it then went through pathology, and that's when we found out that it was Hodgkin lymphoma.
Okay, and then thereafter, what are some of the things that you had to deal with?
So after that, I had to go through a bone marrow biopsy to confirm that it wasn't stage 4, because sometimes lymphoma can hide in your bone marrow or even pieces of your bone.
Wow.
So you have to go through that, and that's something that I did. And after we determined that it was stage 1, we decided to go with radiation therapy, and so I did 15 treatments of radiation therapy.
Now, is that concentrated, or is it something that's the whole body?
It was concentrated, focused on just the area where the lymph node was.
Okay, okay, great. And so now what's the prognosis?
The prognosis is I'm in full remission.
Excellent.
So,
excellent.
Yes.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
That is just unbelievable. I know you said that you had seen something that was on the skin surface. Did you ever notice anything prior? You never had any symptoms of any kind?
So for the most part, I did not have any symptoms, but I will say I was, running and exercising, and I was trying to lose some weight, but I felt that weight was coming off faster than it should have.
Okay.
And that was a bit strange to me, and that led me to kind of think maybe something is going on. My initial thought was not lymphoma or cancer, but it was just, this is unusual, I should bring this up to my physician.
Oh, okay. Well, that was very smart of you. People your age may ignore a lot of things like that. What are some things that you might tell them?
So I would strongly recommend that if you do find a lump of any kind, or you do notice symptoms that might seem atypical or unusual, it's very important that you go bring these up with your physician, because people get scared and don't want to hear bad news.
Right. Now, you're being a RadNet employee, you have some accessibilities to many radiologists.
Sure.
Did you go to them like immediately?
Yes, so when I had my ultrasound done, I had one of our radiologists read the ultrasound, and I also had a different radiologist, one of RadNet's, read my MRI.
Okay.
And so I did use our services there, and my PET scan was also read by a RadNet radiologist.
Okay, great. So they were very, very helpful to you then.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So now, what is being done to help find a cure for this type of disease that you know of?
So the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is really pushing the envelope on finding cures, and they are directing funds that are donated to groundbreaking clinical trials. So there's a lot of work being done there, and there's been a lot of developments that have led up to where we are today, specifically with the development of Gleevec and Rituxan, which were both funded in research by Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So they are heavily involved with research there.
Now, is there some medication that you will have to take for the rest of your life, or no?
No. So fortunately, no, but I will have to go back annually to go under and do a PET scan, but that is really for the first 5 years, and if they don't find any signs or traces of lymphoma, then we can push that to every 5 years after.
Right, right. Oh, that's great. Okay, good. So you're now a part of the Lymphoma and Leukemia Society.
Yes.
So tell me what you're doing with them now.
So I am participating in the Man of the Year campaign for LLS, and the goal of the campaign is to raise $150,000, all of which will be donated to finding cures and giving patients financial assistance and all the good things.
So what brought you to want to do this?
So a buddy of mine, Jared, who was a nominee in the 2018 competition, had brought it to my attention because he had gone through non-Hodgkin lymphoma, and he felt that, I was definitely somebody that could take on the challenge, and I felt a sense of obligation after being so fortunate. And so, I just felt that it was the right thing to do.
So what are some things that you're doing now to try and raise the money?
So aside from the routine letter sending, we are going to have a poker tournament in May. We're going to put on a golf tournament. We're reaching out to some athletes and possible celebrities, movie stars, to donate some of their time in some auction forum that LLS hosts. So we're using a bunch of different channels.
Will that be just in Los Angeles or all over Southern California?
All over Southern California.
Okay.
So the poker tournament will actually take place in Orange County. So,
well, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully there'll be some folks here in our community that will participate and have a good time.
Right.
And help you raise your money.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us.
Hi, I'm John Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village television. Grease for peace.
Welcome back. Well, today at 2 o'clock and 6 p.m., we are going to be showing Maleficent. And I know you said you saw this and you really liked it.
Yeah,
so it's very entertaining, and it is a sequel from the first one. Maleficent travels to a grand old castle to celebrate young Aurora's upcoming wedding to Prince Philip. Now, while there, she meets Aurora's future mother-in-law, a conniving queen who hatches a devious plot to destroy the land's fairies. Now, hoping to stop her, Maleficent joins forces with a seasoned warrior and a group of outcasts to battle the queen and her powerful army. Of course, it stars Angelina Jolie, Elle Fanning, and Michelle Pfeiffer and Harris Dickinson. So, looks really good. And as you had mentioned, Angelina Jolie plays a really good Maleficent.
She did a very good job. Yeah, I enjoyed this.
And that was dropped to you by Memorial Care.
And then coming up on Monday is Dora the Lost City of Gold. This is a live-action version of I guess it has become sort of the classic children's TV series. It's been on, I don't know how long it's been on. It's been on quite a long time. And this is about, she's, I think, probably in high school in this, Having spent most of her life exploring the jungle, nothing could prepare Dora for her most dangerous adventure yet, high school. Accompanied by a ragtag group of teens and Boots the monkey, Dora embarks on a quest to save her parents while trying to solve the seemingly impossible mystery behind a lost Incan civilization. Incan civilization. Okay. And I know my daughter certainly watched the version of this, when she's, I guess, more of a little girl, the animated version, and it was really about learning things. So I don't know, I haven't seen this yet, but this came out not long ago, came out a few months back, and we're going to bring that to you on Friday, and it stars Isabella Merced as Dora.
It looks cute.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's not the animated one, because, we wouldn't really care for that. But when they redo it like this, I think it's fun.
Yeah.
So
looks
two fun movies. So today and Friday.
Yeah, it looks to be a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
And want to tell you about what's the Theater Guild. You had them talking about
Well,
this,
we have
right?
been, and it's really going to be a very fun one. It's called Love, Sex, and the Big City. And you can get tickets, and it's going to be next weekend. Gosh, I can't believe it's already going to be here.
I know.
Wow, March 13th, March 14th at 7 p.m., March 15th at 2 p.m., and it's all filled with all the fun people that we have on here all the time. Very entertaining. So you can get your tickets at the Performing Arts Center, or you can call Barbara Powell. I wonder if she's kicking herself yet for giving her phone number, but it's 547-5525. So fun.
Yes, it's on the flyer.
It's on the flyer.
If it's on the flyer,
give her a call.
It's free game for us to post it, right?
Yeah. And also, don't forget that tomorrow is voting, and so you've got your vote centers all over our area, super close to you. Or you can do your mail-in ballot. I'm actually going to have to go physically to the center because I didn't get my mail-in ballot. So, I don't know why. I changed my address and everything, so I didn't get it. But nonetheless, you can go to Clubhouse 7, or you can go to City Hall in Laguna Woods. So.
So very easy.
Don't forget.
Remember, you can go to anyone. You can be somewhere else and come across a vote center and walk in there to vote.
Awesome.
So that's fine. Hey, as far as our weather goes today, we're going to be partly cloudy out there. And probably, 68, 69 degrees, so not real warm today. But I guess for March, it's not bad at all. We're going to warm up tomorrow a bit, you can see there, and mid-70s and then lower 70s Thursday and Friday. We drop down again, and as I've been saying, it looks as though we can have another round of rain coming in on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. It's too early to say how much, but it's in the forecast. And I heard this morning they are somewhat predicting by weather patterns a wet spring. So that would be, it's great to go out when it's not raining, but we need that, so that would be good news.
Well, your garden and your flowers will love that.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah, and my water bill will love that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes.
So tomorrow we have a really great show for you, so make sure you vote and come on over and watch us. So Memorial Care will be here, and they have a new infusion center, so we're going to be talking about that. We have the OC Wine Fest coming up, and you know how much Ken loves to drink wine on camera. Not only are we going to have wine, but we are going to have a chef who's going to be here too, and so we're going to taste some food and taste some wine tomorrow, the Hearing Well Club, and then of course the California Club. So
yes.
Big show tomorrow, so tune in tomorrow. Have a great day in the village.
Bye-bye.